Hey everyone, today I've got the pleasure to introduce you to the CEO and founder of Ecom Solution, a guy that I've got the pleasure to now call my friend, with which I've been working for about 4 years now. I've been using Ecom Solution for all my business needs, but I don't want to steal the thunder from Jason, which is obviously the expert on this software. It's a software that I've utilized in all my dropshipping career on Amazon that allowed me to sell over $10 million, and especially good to find gold products from retailers and wholesalers. Not only that, but we can utilize it to manage our inventory, to place out our orders, and it's got some very, very cool features and automations that I will let Jason explain for you. Hey Jason, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hey, before we get started, I have a question for you. Do we go with the glasses on or do we go with the glasses off?
Oh, you are very good looking, whatever you prefer.
Do I look smarter with them on?
Look more professional and smart with the glasses on.
I can see better as well, so that will work. So,
well,
thank you for the
numbers, so maybe you want to see them properly.
I think that says a million right there. $10 million in sales. I'm going. Okay, I'm doing good. I was just congratulating you on the $10 million mark in sales. That's fantastic. So, yeah, you and I, we've been working together now for a while. What, March 2015? Was it, right? 2015 March? Yeah. So we've been working on this platform, I guess pretty much ever since then. You started drop shipping before Ecom, like a couple months before Ecom rolled out, right?
Yeah, it was pretty much of a big nightmare because I had to manage my inventory manually. Then I've learned how to outsource, and we had a couple of people helping us with checking the products manually, and then we had a very, very basic software which didn't do a really good job, which still involved a lot of manual intervention. Then you came up with Ecom, obviously, the very first version of it, and since then it's always been improving until now. We've got a very sophisticated software that, it's absolutely awesome.
Come a long way, right?
Ecom, and I'm really, really glad that I'm part of it.
It's crazy to believe that, so much has changed over the years. But, we've been in the market now for, 4 years, and we've been developing because, I'm also on Amazon just like you. So like, we know the pain points of, specifically like what Amazon sellers go through, whether it's, drop shipping or if it's FBAing, like there's very specific pain points that we're well aware of. And it always comes down to, spending your time on the highest income producing activities that you possibly can and letting, software do a lot of the heavy lifting that otherwise would cost us a whole bunch of money. Even if we're paying a person overseas, $2 an hour to manage inventory for us, when you consider that really only costs you 5 cents a month for one product, where you'd be paying someone else a substantial amount of money. Like that way the one thing that we know is the more products that you have up for sale, the more opportunities that you have to make sales. That's been the foundation of everything that we've done, right? Like that's kind of how you build your business as well, right? Like you guys subscribe to source a lot of products, give yourselves a lot of opportunities, and Ecom on the back end is doing a lot of heavy lifting with, managing the pricing changes from suppliers, mostly retail because they change their prices, somewhat regularly. Some of them do. And, the popular retailers, they go out of stock on certain products that are really hot selling products. So we try to minimize the risk on the front end as much as we possibly can, so you can, spend less time having to, explain to customers why you sold them something that's out of stock, and spend more time, collecting paychecks and growing your bank account.
Right, you can have a team that is actually focusing on sourcing products rather than be checking if a product is in or out of stock. So the automation that Ecom gives you on the dropshipping side of things is unbelievable. As you said, you know, we are paying 5 cents to check a product rather than $2 per hour. You know, so it's also the fact of the capital that you can save on labor. You know, having that kind of automation. But Ecom also does like automated confirmation. So it then checks if an order has been shipped out, and automatically automates the shipping confirmations on Seller Central, so that our customers are kept up to date with the order has been placed, the order has been shipped, this is the tracking number. So yeah, you know, just show us what Ecom does. Just you can share your screen, share us, you know, what Ecom does, all its pictures, what you've just added recently. So basically, the Ecom team and Jason have just recently added something called the ASIN database, where you can literally have millions of products, you know, at the click of a mouse, where you can basically select. There you go. It's just showing you now what Jason is doing is selecting one of the suppliers that has been added into Ecom, and you can just select the products that they sell all in one screen without having to choose what category and what not, and it gives you straight away what kind of profit you can expect from those products. Well, yeah, I'll let Jason show you, because as I said, he is the guy that created this amazing software, and he knows it much better than I do.
Well, it all starts with sourcing, right? So, I mean, it's funny because we used to do so many things manually, right? Like we would have to go to a website, and we'd have to, you know, copy the title of a product and then come over to Amazon and paste the title of the product in Amazon to see whether the product's in stock or out of stock, right? So
most importantly, you had to check if the product matched. Right now, with what Ecom came up with, they've got the actual UPC code of that product. So, you know, it is pretty much impossible not to have a match up. You know, sometimes it happens if the supplier has got different UPC code than what is on Amazon, but that is an issue with the suppliers, not with Ecom. So in here, we can definitely find, you know, 99% of times a match without having to do too many checks.
Yeah, really high percentage of time. So this is, you know, this is Home Depot, right? Like Home Depot is one of the bigger suppliers in the dropship space. You know, you have your big retailers, and then you have a lot of small retailers. So Home Depot has a ton of products, and you'll see like in our database, there's a whole lot of suppliers, right? Some of these are retail suppliers, some of these are wholesale suppliers, and we continue to add more products. Essentially, like what the database is designed to do is help people that want to do this business at a high level spend, you know, either less money on paying VAs to source for them, right? Because some VAs aren't very good at doing it. We can acknowledge that. Some of them, no matter what, never get better at it. You know, so you can take kind of like some of the heavy lifting away for like a VA and make it easier for them to find products, right? So our goal is to help, you know, connect as many of the 500+ million products for sale on Amazon to make it easy for you to find the supplier, find whoever's supplying that particular product. You'll see like here, you can get a quick view of this is the product at the supplier. You get an image of the product, and this is the image on Amazon. So like just from the eyeball perspective, you can have a quick match of it. But you know, the real beauty of this is, you know, if you see me scrolling down the page, there's a lot of products to go through, right? I mean, this would take a tremendous amount of time. So when you think about sourcing products, you know, you see all these reds. Like if someone's manually doing this, they have to go to the website, they have to copy the title, come over to Amazon, paste it there, only to find out that they can't make any money on the product, right?
And that's 5 minutes waste of time.
It takes a long time. So you can understand why, you know, a VA, a virtual assistant, you know, might not be real good at it because they run across a couple reds, you know, they start striking out. and then they start jumping from here to there, and they just never get any real momentum, right? Because it's hard for them to do it. So, you know, a cool little function out of this is we can say, all right, we're gonna start with products that make. I like to start with high profit products, because if I'm going to spend my time doing something, I want to make as much money as I possibly can, right? And I want to eliminate all the wasted time. So it takes a second to go through, because Home Depot is such a big supplier, but
it's only got 1.8 million products, right?
Yeah, Home Depot's
I don't know what to find anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Some people say, you know, I don't know what to sell on Amazon. There you go. Now you guys have got a software to do that.
Yeah. So here's a product that makes you $622 when it sells. Here's a product that makes you $89.69. So these are all products right here that make you over $50. You know, sometimes little things sneak in that aren't winners. Like this one says negative 295, but you know, it still saves you a tremendous amount of time. It shows you the ROI, shows you the margin, shows you the sales rank. And to me, like the way dropshipping works is I don't really care what it's ranked. You know why? Because it doesn't cost me any money to warehouse the product. So why should I really care what it's ranked? So if I'm like a solopreneur, or I'm someone that's just starting out, I could spend my time listing a bunch of stuff that makes me $50 up to a couple $100. Like, I want you to think about how long it's this product, and this is the process of sourcing it. Bam.
And most of the time, sorry if I interrupt you there, Jason, most of the times the product might be unranked because probably it's just been listed on the Amazon catalog. And that's
it could be
not ranked. So that means there is got no competition on it. Amazon is not a seller. So already we've got two factors there where we've got high possibility of selling it. Because if somebody is looking for a light, you know, and one of these products comes up, you know, they're not really looking at if the product is ranked or not, if they like the product. So you're still gonna get the sale.
Well, look at this frame of reference. Let's say this product, all right, so it's ranked 3,865,000. You know, like if you're going to buy the inventory, you probably don't want to buy this product because you don't, like, it's not going to sell all that often. However, because we're not having to spend any money warehousing the product, and we do know who has access to the supply of that product, and they'll ship it out for us without us having to touch it. Like, if I list a product for sale, I just list it. How long did that take me, right? So, like, if I look at it this way, this product's going to sell maybe one time a year. Hell, even one time every 2 years. Who cares, right? Because when it sells, I make $99.45. So I start looking at what's my time really worth. What else can I do? Just doing this, going through, kind of matching products up and listing it. Go through, match products up. When you think about like what an hour really could be worth, now we're looking at, all right, so if all these products only sell one time per year, now my hour is worth, you know, in some cases hundreds, if not maybe $1,000, because I choose to source products that are going to make me big profits as opposed to products that are going to make me $1 or $2.
Can I just add one thing there, bro?
Sure.
Now, you saw how Jason is just clicking on the product. Would you mind clicking on a product, Jason, just to show how easy it is to list the product?
Yep. So here, look at this. The product matches, right? Like the product clearly matches. We can open it up and just double check and go to the supplier. But once you match the product up, you press A on it.
There you go. So it's just pressed A, and you could literally click list product, and the product will be active on Amazon, right?
Yep.
So, Going back to what Jason is saying in there, even if this product sells one time in a whole year, and it makes $50, well, in this case $644, but even if it makes $50 profit, it sells one time in a year, right? But you've got only 100 of products like such as this one that sells one time, $50, times, if you got 1,000 of this product, you can make $50,000 per year on a product that sells one time. You know, so if you got thousands of these products, because if you saw how fast it is to list them, you could, I mean, Jason here could potentially just go through each single one of these green ones and click list. list. It could potentially be listing one product every 30 seconds to a minute, because yeah, you might want to check if it's actually a good match, but you can see by the pictures and stuff that
Look at this.
it's an
I'm
actual
just
match.
scrolling. I'm just scrolling while you're talking. All these greens, all these opportunities, right? All these opportunities. I don't care about the sales rank. You know why? Because I don't have to buy the product up front, right? Like a lot of the people who don't do well in these types of businesses is they restrict themselves. They make it too hard on their team to be successful, right? They're
But
looking
just looking at this screen though, for example, if somebody would like to look at the sales rank, there was a product there at 700,000. There was another one for 70,000 if you go down a little bit.
Sure, I can
So
layer. You
you
know,
can also sort it by bestseller ranking.
yeah. Let me see if I can find products that any of these products ranked under 100,000. Well, you know that
And
you.
under 100,000 on the home and kitchen category, which most
Yeah,
of these are, it is top 1%. So look, on the blink of an eye, that's why I love Ecom, because right now I don't think there is a software out there that is as fast as sourcing products.
this
That the
is
company.
one. Here's another supplier, right? Here's
Yeah.
Zorro. Let's pull up Zorro. They have, I don't know, like we have, and you'll see my filter stayed as I switch between suppliers. So my profits filtered at $50 and my sales rank is filtered at 50,000, at 100,000 and less. So these are all products that we haven't listed yet for sale in my store. I can switch to a whole bunch of different suppliers, right? Here's a company called Mega Depot. I don't necessarily love these guys, but they do have some high profit products, right? Like
And
you can.
talking about suppliers, for years, most of the people that are drop shipping, especially in the US, they've been stuck to big retailers such as Walmart. In here, you've got the possibility to access suppliers that have not really been tapped into yet. So the competition on Amazon is pretty low. Apart from most guys that are using now the AC database, that we are competing with each other now.
There's
So
so
there
many.
are so many products that it's actually difficult to actually find any of those in there.
There's so many products. Have you guys ever heard of meat processing products? Probably not, right? I mean, but they have all these products. I mean, some of the products don't match from some of these suppliers, but you have the quick view of products that do and don't match, right? But yeah, like there's so many suppliers. For the FBA people, here's Lego Retailer. There's a whole bunch of different suppliers out there. Fun.com, like there's Everywhere Chair, eFaucets, here's Eden Fantasies, EBC Skincare, right? EcoTemp. Have you heard of any of these sites, right?
I never
CWR
had it before I got the AC database, to be honest with you.
These guys, yeah, like what we do as a company is, like our role is to just make it as easy as we possibly can for you to find products. That way you don't have to think about who's a good supplier, who's not a good supplier, right? How many times have we seen that question over the years? Who's good and who's not good? I mean, that's usually like for someone starting out, that's usually one of the first things that they're wondering is like, where do we go? Where do we start? So with the ASIN database, you really there's so many products for you to start. We find the suppliers. Some of these suppliers are wholesale, like CWR Electronics. They're a wholesale supplier. It takes a minute for the products to pull up the first time you open up a site, simply because it's got to do
To add on all this, most of these suppliers are actually supported by a cashback site called cashbackjunkie.com. So you can not only make those profits that Jason is showing you, but if you go to cashbackjunkie.com, you can actually place your orders through this cashback site and an extra 5, 10%, 3%, depending on the supplier and the wholesaler. There you go.
Yep. So, up to 6.4%.
6.4% on Home Depot. So that is an extra income itself, just on the cashback that you can get from these orders.
Yep. So here's a wholesaler, right? Like there's wholesalers, there's retailers, like we have relationships. So for those people that are really wanting to dig into the supply chain deeper and deeper, again, like part of our job as a company, as a software provider, is to get set up with distributors and bring the product catalog into the system. So you would have to get set up with these guys in order to sell their products. However, you get to look first to see if like you wanted to get set up with them, but look at these opportunities, right? Like there's lots of products. And again, we're sorting by profit of $50 right now. There's a lot of products that are $50 profit, right? Like there's a whole bunch of them from a distributor. Fantastic. So, I mean, there's just opportunities everywhere within this. So sourcing products is the first thing, right? The next thing, what makes this I think like the premier solution for Amazon sellers, no matter what, whether you're doing wholesale or retail drop shipping, whether you're doing FBA, there's first you got to find products to sell, and then from there on the dropship side, we do inventory management, right? So we have a very detailed inventory management system that's tracking every single product. You'll see in my store, I have inventory management on 26,666 products. So like if one of the products comes out of stock and we get notified from the supplier that it's out of stock, it takes it down whenever we get that information. So it limits the amount of times you might sell something when it's out of stock. So you'll see this product has an inventory of 10 and this one has an inventory of 0, right? Because like we were notified that this product is not in stock. So we have inventory management on all the sites that we put in the ASIN database, right? Fantastic. That's very unique within the market. Nobody had, like there is companies out there that do just inventory management, but they don't have a way for people to source products without having to use like third-party tools. And those third-party tools generally are pretty limited with the amount of products that are in their database. Usually they're only working with Walmart, or they match, but like it's a very small percentage of the products that they match up on. And you have to kind of go page by page. You've got to still open up a supplier. So like we wanted to build this to where it's as streamlined as possible for people to find products to sell, because like that to us, if someone can make money selling a product, then they can build a business. If they're spending all their time trying to find products to sell, then they're not going to be in business very long, right? If they're not able to find products. So we wanted to solve that. And then on the second level, they need to keep their metrics in good shape, right? Like we need to keep our metrics in good shape. So, that's why we built an inventory platform that allows us to scale out, the number of products that we have listed for sale. Because, again, my store stays pretty consistent with sales because I have a lot of products listed for sale. I have a database of products to source through, right? So that's kind of the secondary function. Then we have an order center, right? So this is how we keep track of all the orders that we make in our system. So this tells how much we make on every single order that we process. So, I can go back in time. I can go to the beginning of the year, and this is going to kind of go back through the beginning of the year, and it's going to show me exactly how many orders I've had, how much I've actually made on these orders, so I have an idea of where I'm at, right? So within this functionality of our platform, like kind of like one of the crappy things in this business is having to keep up with shipping confirmations, right? So we built our platform to be able to automatically import this shipping confirmation, and Amazon has a kind of like a wonky way of validating tracking numbers. So our platform will also make sure that we're checking. You see how right now this still says ordered because the product hasn't officially shipped. So without getting too technical here, this information was automatically fed into our system. The moment that this tracking number was created and we were notified of this tracking number, Ecom then looks to make sure that the shipping company has picked it up and loaded it onto their truck. And once they load it onto the truck, then we notify Amazon that the product is shipped. That way we keep our valid tracking rate, in good shape, right? That's
And
just
the customer is informed as soon as the product is shipped with a tracking number, knowing exactly the whereabouts of its product.
Exactly. So you'll see some products ship within a couple hours. It's a pretty cool feature. The added advantage of having something like that is you can have lower handling time on your products, and that's part of the buy box, is the handling time that you have on products, right? Like if I have
and sales, absolutely.
If you and I are competing directly against each other on a product, and I have handling time of 2 days on a product and you have handling time of 5 days because you're manually uploading tracking numbers and you can't keep up with it, I'm going to win the buy box a high percentage of time, even if you're selling the product for less than I am.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like one of those functions that we built in to help us, maybe make a little bit better margins than we would otherwise be making because we're able to offer lower handling times.
And this is something that a lot of Amazon sellers don't get. And that's the reason why the profits on the dropship side sometimes are low, because people don't understand the fact that to win the buy box, you don't necessarily need to be the lowest price. A lot of things that count on the buy box, such as lead time, as Jason just mentioned, but also your reviews, how good your metrics are, how quick you are answering your customers. So there are a lot of factors that involve the buy box, not just the price. And definitely, having the lower lead time will prompt the customer to get in more often from that seller than from somebody that can deliver within 5-10 days. And also Amazon on that side of things will also give you more buy box because of it. And that's another cool feature that Jason is just showing us, is how you can literally manage your whole team, seeing what kind of profit each person is making in your business. And you can see there he's got, I'll let you go through it, Jason. Yeah.
So easy way to explain this is if you're going to pay someone money to do a job, you want to know what kind of return on your investment you're getting, right? That's what I love about this business, is that's different than, a lot of businesses, because we don't necessarily have to pay money for advertising or getting good at any of that. We pay money for people finding products, right? So we built the ASIN database to make it easy for the people to find products to list. And after that, you can start judging how successful they are at finding products, right? You'll see some of them are doing really, really well, and then some of them don't do all that well, right? So this will give you an inside view at what's going on within your company. Like if I'm going to pay you a manual money, I want to make sure that what I'm getting in return is more than I'm paying you, so I can actually run a business. And at the end of the day, I think that the reason for building a business isn't so you create another 12-hour job for yourself. It's so you can get a little bit of freedom, right? So this is how you get freedom. Like you have to get people that are helping find products, and then after you get a person to find products, you have to then have a mechanism for judging whether or not they're successful at what you're paying them to do, or they're not successful at what you're paying them to do, right? It's as simple as that, right? So we built this so I can look at knowing that I pay someone, $280 as a base salary per month, and I can look at their numbers and say, all right, am I making my quota, or am I not making my quota? And then I can make business decisions based on that, right?
Absolutely. That's the only way we can track how much money each person is making us. And you got some very good people in there by the look of it. I was just checking the numbers while he was talking.
Yeah, this is funny enough, this is a slow month for us right now. If I go back to last month, you'll see last month was a pretty good month. So, and keep in mind, last month I was visiting. I was out there in your neck of the woods there for.
He was actually in Manchester. He was nearly crushing $1 million in sales in a month, right?
So here we are, 50 grand last month in profit, and this shows me how profitable my team was. So Andrew, again, base salary of $280 plus he gets a bonus for hitting this, but I mean, he almost 20x'd what I paid him, right? So when you think, I think of money different than most people think of money. A lot of people think of money as They think of it as like they don't have enough of it. But once you learn how to get money working for you, and the way that we get money working for us is we pay people to do a job, and then, you know, like we hope that they multiply the dollar that we spend, you know. So you'll see, like last month we multiplied our dollar on a lot of people. So, you know, the cost of all the people of the entire operation is about 11 grand. Now keep in mind, we've been building this for years. Everybody starts with their first, right? So you start with your first. That person's going to be sourcing products for you. That, you know, they start bringing some money in, and then you can start taking a percentage of the profits that they make in the business, and you can start hiring people to do other roles. One of those roles is going to be in processing orders, right? So we have a mechanism for saying how many orders is someone processing in a month, right? So you'll see that my team doesn't only source products, but they also process orders. And this tells me how many orders each of them processes, right? So if someone might be a little weaker on the sourcing side of things, maybe they'll be better served as more of a support agent that can help us, you know, on the support side of the business. And, you know, processing orders is a support side of the business.
And what better than these graphs helps you to judge what is the best role to, you know, assign somebody to, you know, because as you said, I had the same thing with people that weren't that good on placing on sourcing products, but they can place orders for fun and they're very fast on it. So yeah, you know, looking at these numbers, you certainly can identify which skills are best suited for somebody.
Yeah, and that's pretty much, I mean, you know, there's a couple other little areas of the platform, but that's really the meat and potatoes of it. You know, like yeah. we make it easy to find products using the ASIN database. You know, we manage inventory. We have an order management center. We have the ability to see exactly how profitable we are on every order. We have the ability to see how profitable we are on the people that we're paying to source products for us. We have the ability to identify how many orders people are placing for us. And, you know, because of that, it really runs pretty seamlessly. You know, like I have to oversee the operation to make sure that, you know, we're handling our business as a company and making sure that we're living up to Amazon's expectations. But, you know, this platform is something we've been developing you've been using it for years, and yeah. You've seen so many, yeah, right? Like a lot, when we started, all we did was inventory management of a handful of sites.
And it's unbelievable the way that it's progressed, and, you know, all the things that it can do now. One thing that you forgot to mention in that as well is, I mean, the way the Ecom solution is set up now, I don't think you really need to do this, but should you have a wholesaler that is actually not there yet? Well, first of all, Ecom is very easy to look into it and help you to integrate that wholesaler into the ASIN database. But if it's not there, and then you would like to know if this wholesaler has got profitable products for you to sell on Amazon, whether it is for dropshipping or FBA, there is something called the sourcing wizard, where all you've got to do is make sure that you map the spreadsheet that the wholesaler sends you with their UPC code, their cost, their pack quantity. It's that easy to use. You go into the sourcing wizard, you make sure that you map the sourcing wizard with what is the supplier giving you. And the sourcing wizard will do pretty much what you just saw on the ASIN database. It will just basically spit out all the information with all the profitable products, mark them in green, and helping you with sourcing much faster than what you would have been in the old days, when it was all about copying and pasting, and then you had to spend like 5 minutes checking if the measurements were right, the color were right, if the manufacturing number was the same, if the model number was right, you know, if that came with an extra thing that you didn't have on Amazon. You know, it was so many things to check before that. You could literally check source like 2 or 3 products per hour, whilst now we can basically list, like, you know, I've had some people that have listed over 50 products in an hour using the ASIN database. So whether what was taking us before like a year, now you can build that kind of store within a month, right? So yeah, definitely a software that has changed my life. You know, has changed Jason himself's life, because he was also using pretty basic softwares before Ecom was born. Actually, it's because is in the trenches with us, like every Amazon seller, that he came up with solutions. That's why it's called Ecom Solutions, right? For issues that we were going through then, and obviously helped everyone in his group. And now this software is available to everyone here. If you want to get a 14 days free trial of Ecom, all you gotta do is go to emanuelevinci.com/ecom demo. I'm gonna put the link below this video. And yeah, Jason, thanks very much for your time. It's always an honor for me to have you, in my calls, and to come up here and share Ecom with my audience. I really appreciate your time, and you want to say another few things to my audience?
It's my pleasure. Well, thank you for having me. I love seeing your growth. I love, I just remember, like your story, just it's amazing how this business has taken you from driving 2 hours to work, every single day, to having some freedom. You're working in your home office right now.
Yes.
Are your kids downstairs, or are they at school?
No, yeah, they are still with the grandma right now. We are going. My wife is going to pick them up. Well, yes, I've got a home office now. We've got a warehouse, and Jason saw all my growth since day one. I actually started, scaling up with Jason's trainings, and so he's been my very, very first mentor on the Amazon world. And obviously, I'm still in the group, and I'm still with Ecom, and I help testing in the UK side of things. Hopefully, we are gonna get Ecom in the UK very soon.
Hey, if we get enough UK people, like if it makes sense for us to do it, we're open to doing anything, So, something that I feel like what we have right now is fantastic to just kind of like give you kind of a peek into the future. We're also building in a secondary function to that ASIN database that will cross-reference FBA opportunities as well. So, for the suppliers that may not be dropship friendly, there might be a lot of opportunities on that front, or, products that you're already selling in your store for it to look to see, hey, would it make more sense for us to FBA this product versus, dropship the product, and reduce the amount of workload needed to process that particular order. So, we just keep developing the platform because we're in the business. We know the pain points of the business. And we're just going to keep focusing on making it easier and easier to run this business with less headaches as much as we possibly can, because I don't think any of us get into it so we can work 24 hours a day. I think all of us get into it so we can have a little bit of a life and have some freedom and have some extra spending money. Absolutely. Not everybody's going to build it as big as we've built it. There's a lot of people.
They've got the opportunity to do that now with the ASIN database. We didn't have that at the beginning.
No, I mean, we've made it so much easier for people to succeed at this point. I would say the biggest challenge people will have is whether or not they can handle the amount of business that they should be bringing in. If someone works hard at it and builds a good team around them, it's not going to be a matter of a lack of revenues coming in. It's going to be how they handle the business, how they manage the day-to-day operations of the actual business. And that's why you join people's courses like Emmanuel, because he shows you kind of the best strategies to run your business and, to keep yourself in as good a shape as you possibly can, and to make sure that you're here in a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Right. That's the goal. So, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I really enjoy talking. I obviously enjoy showing Ecom off. It's really fun. Proud of it.
No, Jason, the pleasure is all mine. Again, thank you very much for coming up. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for showing us Ecom. And guys, get in touch if you want to get signed up. I'm gonna put the link below these videos. And I'll see you for on the next episode of my calls, on my live calls. Hopefully, we're gonna get Jason again or another guest. So I'll see you next time. Thank you everyone for watching.